Hey guys, welcome back to our 31 days of wisdom. Today we are in chapter 26. So this is day 26. And today we're talking about how not to be a fool, right? This chapter has um, these five sketchy individuals that we're going to meet. We're going to meet the fool, we're going to meet the sluggard, we're going to meet the meddler, we're going to meet the whisperer, and we're going to meet the hater, right? And just like one of the earlier chapters, we saw a lot of comparison. Same thing in this chapter where we see the comparison. We notice um, these five individuals and then how that equates to really the bad things that they do. And as you read through, you'll notice that a lot of these comparisons are made here on the natural realm, but the overall point is pretty clear. Don't be one of these dudes right here, right? You don't want to be the fool, right? Because he's thoughtless and stupid. He can't be trusted and he can't be relied upon. He is a liability to all who send him. You don't want to be the sluggard, right? He recognizes problems, but does nothing about them. He begins the job, then he never knows how to finish. He thinks himself wise, but he can't even get out of bed, right? You don't want to be the meddler. He goes snooping around and finds nothing but trouble. He causes strife and then he calls it a joke, right? You don't want to be the whisperer. He instigates trouble and keeps the animosity burning, right? He knows which buttons to push. You know, people like that. He knows which buttons to push and thinks it's fun. You don't want to be the hater. He harbors a grudge and yet comes off like a friend. He flatters and fawns, but he's deceptive, right? And those deceptions will be brought into daylight. So as you read here, really just um, check out these five characters and just prayerfully contemplate, the prospects of each one and their ways of life, right? I love how Proverbs does some of these comparisons right there, because again, like we've said, when you compare one thing to the next, it becomes clearer good and evil, right and wrong. So let's jump on in here for chapter 26, verse 1. It is totally out of place to promote and honor a fool, just like it's out of place to have snow in the summer and rain in harvest time. And an undeserved curse will be powerless to harm you. It may flutter over you like a bird, but it will find no place to land. Guide a horse with a whip, direct a donkey with a bridle, and lead a rebellious fool with a beating on his backside. Don't respond to the words of a fool with more foolish words, or you will become as foolish as he is. Instead, if you're asked a silly question, answer it with words of wisdom so the fool doesn't think he's so clever. Yeah, as I read that, I just think about so many times when Jesus was on the earth, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all these people would come to him and try to trap him in a question. How he is just, his response was just so wise. And that's what we're called to do, is answer with wise words, or don't even answer them at all, depending on the situation. So verse 6, if you choose a fool to represent you, you're asking for trouble. It will be as bad for you as cutting off your own feet. That's pretty bad. You can never trust the words of a fool, just like a crippled man can't trust his legs to support him. Give honor to a fool and watch it backfire, like a stone tied to a slingshot. The statements of a fool will hurt others like a thorn bush brandished by a drunk. Like a reckless archer shooting arrows at random is the impatient employer who hires just any fool who comes along. Someone's going to get hurt. Fools are famous for repeating their errors. Like dogs are known to return to their vomit. There's only one thing worse than the fool, and that's the smug, conceited man, always in love with his own opinion. The lazy loafer says, I can't go out and look for a job. There may be a lion out there roaming wild in the streets. As a door is hinged to the wall, so the lazy man keeps turning over, hinged to his bed. There are some people so lazy they won't even work to feed themselves. A self-righteous person is convinced he's smarter than seven wise counselors who tell him the truth. Hmm. It's better to grab a mad dog by its ears than to meddle and interfere in a quarrel that's none of your business, right? It's one of them A and B conversations. See your way out, right? Don't even mess with that. Verse 18, the one who is caught lying to his friends and says, I didn't mean it, it was just only a joke, can be compared to a man randomly shooting off deadly weapons. It takes fuel to have a fire. A fire dies down when you run out of fuel, so quarrels disappear when the gossip ends. You know, that's one of the things we talk about in business is that there is a no gossip policy. You kill that off, you don't even allow it to start, right? You kill that off and don't even allow it to go because it is a fire. 21, add fuel to the fire and the blaze goes on. So add an argumentative man to the mix and you'll keep the strife alive. Gossip is so delicious and how we love to swallow it. For slander is easily absorbed into the innermost being. Smooth talk can hide a corrupt heart, just like a pretty glaze covers a cheap clay pot. Kind words can be a cover to conceal hatred of others, for hypocrisy loves to hide behind flattery. So don't be drawn in by the hypocrite, for his gracious speech is a charade, nothing but a masquerade covering his hatred and evil on parade. Don't worry, he can't keep the mask on for long. One day, his hypocrisy will be exposed before all the world. Go ahead, set a trap for others, and then watch it snap back on you. Start a landslide, and you'll be the one who gets crushed. Hatred is the root of slander, and insecurity is the root of flattery. And that is chapter 26, day 26. We met those 5 individuals. Kind of assess, prayerfully assess where you're at, maybe where you personally need to grow at. What are some things you need to stop doing? Maybe what are some things you need to start doing, right? Hope today has added value to you. I look forward to being back with you tomorrow, day 27 on our 31 days of wisdom. You guys have a great day and God bless.